There we go. What's going on? Chris Jenkins, credentialed member of the media covering the Carolina Panthers for Charlotte Vibe. Today was the first day that we got a chance to see some real action, to hear some thuds and helmets clashing together as the Carolina Panthers had their first day of training camp in full pads. So, nickname man of the people, why? What does that mean? What does that mean? I'm going to tell you. It means that I love working for fans, okay? I love to be the best source for media that connects fans with players and coaches. So, any questions that you have, please let me know. Let me give you the format of the show as usual. We're going to do a little recap of what I saw during practice today, followed by recapping the players and coaches interviews with media, and then taking your questions. So a treat for you today is that I've got a lot of video today. Normally I don't have too much video, but was going to go live from Spartanburg, which is where I was at earlier today. But inclement weather didn't really allow me to do a safe broadcast there. I don't know if some of you saw the notification earlier today. I don't know, maybe around 4:30, I think, that I was trying to go live. Didn't work, had to head back to Charlotte, and now I'm doing the broadcast from here. So as a result, you may feel like this is a little bit of a speed round, but forgive me, but I do want to make sure that you guys and girls get some great content. And everybody, your support of Charlotte Vibe has been incredible. Every day down in Spartanburg, somebody saying hello, somebody's giving me a compliment, and I appreciate it. Subscribing to the channel is well worth it, and hit those likes is great. It's helping me expand, helping me get a bigger audience, which is helping me do more with players and coaches. So I will be having a coach on the show this week. I will be having several players on the show this week. So if you really like that stuff, hit that like button. I think the last few videos we get over 100 likes. It helps, all right? Let me go ahead and go into the show, and also remind you, normally, at first I used to do the shout outs at the beginning of the show. I'm gonna have to move them to the end. So I'm not looking at comments now, but if you leave them, as much time as I can give tonight, I'm in the middle of a move personally at home, so I can't be out too late. Let me hear your comments, and I'm gonna try to get to them. So today, practice, we were in pads. I'm gonna run through my notes from today in practice, and it's just gonna be in sequential order, okay? So forgive me things like, hey, why did he say this first? He could have grouped it together. Just trying to sequentially go through my observations from today. They had a drop during individual drills. One of the, I might want to say middle linebackers had a drop. Yeah, it wasn't the cornerbacks. And then they dropped down and did some push-ups. So I'm not saying, well, I can't see everything, but it's something that I've seen a few times, that those guys on defense are doing some push-ups, holding themselves accountable for those mistakes. So what else did I see? I saw Christian McCaffrey taking the first two snaps when they went to, at this point, oh man, was it a 7-on-7? No, it was an 11-on-11 type situation. And I'm like, okay, wow, well, Christian, I know they talked about, they don't know the exact plan, and there's a lot of talk with the Panthers people and Christian and his people, and Christian has this great plan. So at first I was kind of shocked that Christian got the first two carries in that practice, but then I saw that they had the wide receivers that they had were like coaches, you know. So basically, you know, they weren't going to throw the ball to any of those guys. So I forgot to ask coach, but I think by the way it looked, that first series was really just designed for let's do some runs, practice some other things. But Christian McCaffrey did take the first two and took a lot more, and did not, in my opinion, seem to be, you know, held back at all during practice. So I had the opportunity to ask Coach Rula, what does this mean? Do you guys have a pretty good feel for what you're going to be doing with Christian in terms of his reps this week in practice?
Yeah, so, you know, a lot of things we're doing are just off the GPS. You know, we have sort of a restraining line that we want to keep guys behind when they get past it. And then guys like Christian and some other, you know, veteran players, you know, we'll hold them from here to there. So I think we have a good plan. You know, we communicate it with the guys, and even sometimes you guys might not necessarily notice it, but we might say, hey, this guy's 50% reps today. Just it might be a young guy, like it might be Terrace Marshall. It might be. So we're trying to make sure that we keep everybody in a really safe, healthy spot. You know, we like our team. We think they practice hard. So when you have a team that works hard, you know, you don't have to grind them quite as much. You can trust them that they're going to grind themselves. So we're trying to be smart with it, you know, utilizing the GPS, the player load, as well as our eyes and how the guys feel.
So not answer as far as what we're going to see from Christian, but there was some very interesting information on how they use the GPS and that data to help try to measure the load on players. And something I didn't play for, but Coach Rule went on to talk about was Number one, they use this for all players, and they use it for a player whether it's Terrace Marshall, like a younger guy, or just a guy that's coming off an injury. And they actually have different statuses, if you will. So one guy could be, hey, we're going to watch him because his load and mileage was heavy the other day. Another thing could be, hey, this guy's coming off an injury, so he's on watch. And then other guys, he might be getting there, so they're on alert. So they have all these different categories which they use. And, that really takes me back to when Coach Rivera lost his job here and David Tepper came on. They talked about liking sports science. So it's just another way that Coach Rule and his staff are using that science and data to continue to monitor players. So right now, Christian McCaffrey seems all good to go and well, and they'll just continue to monitor and say, Christian, he's so active during practice that he's one of those guys that runs up his GPS pretty quickly. So we will see how that continues to play out with Christian McCaffrey. False starts. I feel like I've been seeing a lot of false starts in practice, and I feel a little bit more sensitive about those than I do when I see the defense with penalties like pass interference, because I feel like, I don't know why I give that less than I do like the guy that's going a false start. You know the cadence, and yes, you have different quarterbacks, but Coach Rule said they also want to use that cadence this year as a way to get an advantage at times. So had some more today. Players come out when they do the false start, and hopefully that is something that will get better. Next up was something that I ironically asked Coach about this past Saturday is special teams. We got a lot of new additions. We re-signed Zane Gonzalez, and we got Hecker, and then we got Andre Roberts. That's on the return side of it. But in terms of kicking, you got those two guys that are now on the team, and you want to see some more of them. As of this weekend, we hadn't seen them practice too many times, but today got a chance to see Zane Gonzalez kick several times. And it was ironic because I was thinking like the TV broadcaster that I don't want to jinx him. I don't want to say he's been perfect. And in my notes, I said that Zane had made them all. And then he started to miss some. He missed what I'm going to have in my notes as what looked to be about 45 yards and field goal. And he was short on that one. And that looked really weird to me that he didn't miss it wide left or right. That Zane has plenty of leg. Why did he miss that one short? I'm going to come back to that in just a second. And then it was one that was closer to 50 yards. At first, I couldn't see it from my vantage point, but other people confirmed me that he did, in fact, miss that one. So he missed two. I didn't keep track of how many he made. I'm going to guess ballpark. He made 4 out of 6, 3 out of 5 kind of deal. I'm not worried, but just wanted to report. But I did want to ask Coach Rule about it because it just seems so weird in the way that he missed that one field goal.
Yeah, so I did not. I'll have to go back, trust that. That's really not my area sometimes too, so I'll have to trust those guys. But I know he had a pretty serious wind. Look, I got caught in the wind, whether he struck it wrong. The great thing in that room for me is besides having, Chris Tabor and Ed Foley and Cedric, 3 great coaches, I got, you got Hecker, you've got JJ, you've got Zane. I've got real veterans in the room who, are gonna tell you, hey, this is exactly what was wrong. So, Zane's been really strong so far. It wasn't all perfect today, but he'll make the adjustment.
So I'm a big fan of Zane. Coach Rule saying I'm not worried. I still have a lot of faith in that guy. So don't know. Maybe we'll never know. But he says the wind may have picked up or something. But it just looked weird the way that he missed that. Like that was Zane. Nevertheless, continuing to tell you the observations. Now, you guys have been asking me. I gotta stop saying you guys. I want to say something more inclusive. You all asked me about the line, and it's hard for me to watch every position. So continue to let me know what you want me to watch, and I will watch those positions. It just takes away from the quarterback observations that I know everybody wants to know about. On the offensive line, Ikem Ekwonu, no, he's not getting all the first team reps, even though everybody fully expects for him to take that role. Now, that's just prediction, so everybody's feelings could start to change as you see more contact in practice and you go through some preseason games. How does Icky look compared to, let's say, a Brady Christensen that would be in that position, or even a Cam Jordan who got a lot of reps with the ones today in those positions? And yes, even at times you saw Icky and Christensen on that left side together playing. So they're doing a good job of just moving around guys, seeing what they're getting, and also saying that they're not at this point in practice or training camp. We don't have to make a decision about a lot of things yet. We have a lot of time. Let's let these, let things play out. Let guys get their reps as we have already determined, and then we'll continue to see how things play out. I saw a good play from Bravian Roy, getting some pressure on a run. Actually, made a run tackle that would have been a stop for a loss. Now, right now, even though there's some pads on, they're not trying to take guys down to the ground. So, not seeing hard hits yet. I'm sure somebody's going to get anxious and jump the gun on something that coach is going to yell them. But fortunately, none of that's happened yet. Guys are trying to keep each other safe and just hit hard with the wrap up. Next, we went to the red zone. And the red zone was first up, since I don't think I've said this yet, but Baker Mayfield went with the 2s today. Sam Darnold went with the 1s today. Overall, I'm just going to sum it up. Baker was more productive in the red zone today. Baker had 3 touchdowns during his time of steering the ship for the offense on the red zone. Sam Darnold only had 1. So 3-1 there, but Sam also struggled with some ball issues when he was out there. One coach said that it was, I forget how he said it, but it would have been considered a pass. So that's not a big deal. But to me, it's not a big deal in that it's a lesser deal that it would not have been a turnover, but it's still a deal in that it's a short passing thing, and you should be able to connect on those. But I asked Sam about the ball being on the ground while he was operating the red zone. Let me cue this up. Sam's response to that question.
On that one, Burns did a really good job because he was my read on that play. He did a good job of charging the mesh. Obviously, I just got to make a split-second decision and, made the wrong one. And then the other time it was, it was 0 coverage, and we had a speed option on, and just, ball got away from me a little bit.
That's why you do some push-ups, I believe, after, right?
Yeah.
Something you don't see quarterbacks do.
Yeah, I was just, a little ticked off after it. I didn't know what to do, and so I just started doing push-ups.
Yeah, Sam doing. Yeah, I thought that was weird. Like I got confused when I saw it, and certainly had a chance to ask him. And it was funny also because we had to wait for Sam to come out to talk with the media, and they said he was in a weight room. And I came back, and as soon as he came out, I said, "Hey, did you set any personal records?" He said, "No, quarterbacks aren't in there trying to set any personal records. He's just doing what he has to do to stay in shape." Pretty fun day covering the Carolina Panthers, to be honest with you guys. So there's Sam's response to what happened during those times with the pressures and just mishaps with the balls. What else did we have? I think that is it in terms of my observations from practice today. Coach Rule came up and spoke with us as well. J.C. Horn was activated from the physically unable to perform, also known as the PUP list. And they're taking it cautiously with J.C., meaning that today he was in pads, he did practice, but he didn't do any team stuff. He just did a bunch of individual things. Watched him closely. I was maybe 20 yards away from him, if that, probably more like 15 yards away from him during that time. And there was nothing that said that this guy's foot is bothering him. So right now, I think we're about to see a little bit of how much pain tolerance JC may have and how well he's able to take care of his body. Hopefully all goes well, because this kid seems to have a lot of potential that we see in him, and we won't see it if he's not on the field. Your best ability is your availability, right? So that's something that we're going to continue to monitor closely. And in terms of what has been going on with JC, Coach said it's not in this bone, it's just in the tissues that he's having overall foot soreness. So he's just going to continue to be day to day. Let's go on to the next. Matt Corral was up next speaking with the media. And he said something that Baker Mayfield also said, which was these first 2 days that they were out there, it was really, really hard and challenging. Now, Sam didn't talk about that. Sam's had a lot more reps, a lot more time. He's been a pro for a little bit longer than Matt. So, he's used to more things than Matt would be used to. But said those first 2 days were just really, really tough when they're getting all the base offense installed from Ben. Baker Mayfield said the same thing about those first couple of days as being really, really tough, absorbing all that information. And it's been noted, been out there on social media, that Matt Corral is always the first person out there on the field. today he said that the reason that he's the first one out there is because he just likes to do some stretching and some routines first before everyone gets out there. So he needs to have time to do that. So that's why you'll see him trying to be the first one out there on the practice field. And when he's not getting reps, because he's not getting a lot of reps, Baker and Sam are getting most of the reps. He is visually going through everything and trying to imagine what the reads are during that play so he can continue to get some repetitions and watch. And now that he's gotten a little bit more accustomed to the offense that Ben is running with them, he says at first when they would get their script, because things are pretty scripted during practice, he would just focus on his part. What is Matt Corral to be doing? But now he doesn't focus on just his part. He focuses on everybody. He reads everybody's script to see what he's going to be doing, and just feeling like that helps him expand on his knowledge. And lastly, from Matt Corral was everybody loves his mechanics. My son was asking me today about how Matt Corral may look and could he be a starter. I said, now he does look pretty good, but he's still, as far as hitting his targets and every part of being successful at that, he hasn't really mastered that yet, which he shouldn't. But in terms of looking the part, he certainly looks the part, and is a guy to watch a quarterback and what he can be for our Carolina Panthers. And he said it took him about 6 to 7 years of working on his mechanics to get his release like it is, and he still works with the same guy today that helped him start that a while back. Last but not least, Baker Mayfield. We had a chance to talk to Baker, and let me see if I got this video correct. I've been wanting to know, I'm sure you want to know, Baker, where are you exactly with this playbook? Now let's see if I got this correct. Here we go.
I think at first, when you call plays, you're just generally trying to.
All right, so no, that wasn't it. I'm going to play that in a second. Baker was asked about where he is in the playbook, and he says he's getting better. He's getting through it a lot more, but he's not completely there yet. Still has some more to do where he can just play off instinct instead of thinking through the plays that are going on. I went on to ask Baker after he made that comment, well, what are you most comfortable with at this point? What have you gotten that's coming to you more quickly and easily?
I think at first, when you call plays, you're just generally trying to picture the whole play and the concept. And now, after the first few days of practice, it's all coming together. And knowing my reads, knowing exactly the timing of everything, and knowing how Coach McAdoo wants it done. That's really the biggest thing for me is I'm not just hearing plays and be like, okay, take care of the ball, go through this read. I'm hearing the play and I'm understanding why Coach McAdoo's calling it and what he wants to get accomplished.
So that's Baker on what is coming easier for him now is he's able to, in my opinion, be a little bit more cerebral when he's playing this position because of the fact that he's getting those reps and he's getting more comfortable. And now he also went on to say, and he said this before, so to me this is something that is really big for him, that 2 weeks, a little bit more than 2 weeks that they spend down in Spartanburg. Some people could say, hey, I hate it. I'm away from my family, or I love it. Baker's a guy that loves it. He loves it because it gives him a chance to completely, and I'm paraphrasing this, immerse himself into football, gives him a chance to build relationships with guys and know his receivers, just know his entire team. Just a lot of getting to know the guy that you're playing next to, which is something I've heard for years, that players it makes the whole experience of being on a team and being in the NFL better with the relationships that they can build. And he loves being down in Wofford. So when he said that, I thought about, well, with the relationship that you've built, I remember you trash talked a few guys. So tell me, Baker, why did you do that?
You don't pick out the weak links, you go straight for the head. We'll see. Now, D-Jack just continues to talk, so I don't know if it's just trash talk or if he's just talking every single day. But no, those guys are so much fun to be with. When you have a defense like that has so many leaders and competitors, that elevates everybody around you. So you got to match that competition level. You got to match that intensity, and you can bring the best out in each other. Now, you got to be smart while you do it. You got to still do your job first and foremost, but you can have fun while doing it. That's what this game's all about.
So I'm going to play that beginning for you one more time. I'm going to tell you something. He caught me off guard. he gave such a stout comment that I was like, but again, I asked Baker about Shaq Thompson last week revealed that Baker had trash talked him as well as Dante Jackson. So my question to Baker was, what made you comfortable to do that, or why did you do that? So I'm just going to play the beginning again one more time in case you didn't get the first clip.
You don't get out the weak links; you go straight for the head.
Yeah. Man, that's a lot of confidence right there. And I didn't know what to say after that. And then Baker just kind of said, "Yeah, that's it. I'm that guy." So that's cool. But you also got to, at least I appreciate the fact that Baker knows, yeah, you could be a good trash talker, but you got to, if you're not executing, then you need to dial it back down, and you need to make sure that you're keeping a good balance of it. So that's going to be a challenge for Baker, making sure that he's been able to deliver on the trash talk that he wants to be able to provide back. Hey, if it works out, it's great, So, and it does bring up the juice in some of the guys. And even Sam Darnold says that he gets into it. He doesn't know if he's good at it. He doesn't even really know what he says much and if it works. But, you certainly can't back down when that moment comes. So that was pretty fun that Baker gave me that kind of response to everything. All right, so hope you guys are enjoying the video. Leave some comments. If you have not hit the like button, do so, because it helps me to do more with the players on this team that you want to see, and the coaches as well. So hit that like button. Subscribe as well. That's the number one thing to do. Hit the notifications. Why? All of my videos, well, not all of them, but 90% of my videos are live, and I want to interact with you. So if you don't have the subscribe and the notification, you're going to miss the chance to ask me your questions. So speed round. I only got 8 more minutes before I got to get out of here. Sorry for the late video, but I had to bring you the content. Every day that they have practice, you're going to see my content. I see those bots are out there again, but I'm going to have to ignore those today. All right, what's up, Chris Johnson, Alec Barnett, AJ Lindsay, KPM, opinions on Cade May so far. Now, I haven't been able to watch Cade May, but I'm going to go ahead and spill the beans. Cade May and I are going to talk soon this week, most likely Wednesday. I can't guarantee the day, but Cade Mays will be on the show. It's not going to be live because I can't do that kind of stuff live, but look forward to it, all right? What's going on, Trill? Jay Hines, he was saying go. When that started happening, and what Jay Hines was talking about is the Sam Darnold, when he had 2 plays, I'm pretty sure they were consecutive, where it was a botched handoff or a pullback on the handoff, and then he missed a little toss out to the running back. That it's just like, oh no, here we go, it's going to build. Like if he has one, you kind of be like, okay, but if he has one shortly after, then you're going to be like, oh my goodness, is he about to lose it? And then the fact that he said he went and did push-ups afterwards, yeah, that still concerns me about Sam, is how things can just accumulate for him and he not reel it back in. Jay Hines thinks that Baker has won the job. Finally, I'm not spread out like peanut butter. Can see my man. Appreciate the Felix. But hey, these shows aren't going to be late. This is late today because of the inclement weather down in Spartan. But I was so happy because it was not sunny, so that was going to allow me to do my broadcast and have the field in the background and look like what you see on ESPN. And then the rain came, and I'm like, nah, we got to be safe. We got to live for another day. Let's see here. Yeah, being first doesn't mean much, but hey, I like to give you guys insight on why things happen and form your own opinions from that, if you will, but just trying to give some behind the scenes information. Arm surgery? No, I had my first ever surgery, I don't know how many months ago, maybe nearing 3 months ago at this point. And it wasn't the worst thing ever, but it wasn't the best thing ever. And I'll do it again if I have to. It's kind of like dead man walking, but man, I'm going to do everything I can not to have surgery. So Felix, man, I hope all goes well and the medication that they give you to deal with it is good and does just the right thing for you. Ask Baker about the Cheesecake Factory. You got to tell me why I'm going to ask Baker about the Cheesecake Factory. I like Baker. I like Corral better. Okay, Richie. Okay, Richie. Baker says the word winning a lot more than Sam. Okay. Baker's growing on slideshow. This is why I need a moderator. Yeah. Yeah, let me see if I can kill that really quickly. Actually, I can't, man. It's just, I got you. I hear you guys. We'll try to figure something out about the spam comments. We'll try to figure something out. Richie, appreciate your comment, Richie. Like I said, it's going to be a little big fast pace today. I got like 4 more minutes, but I want to do something different because I had just a little bit more time today and incorporating the videos into the shows. I guess you guys are liking it. Let me know in the feedback, and I'll continue to balance out things as far as how long it takes me to do something. And I'm always want to make sure I get the content out to you all quickly. So there's a balancing act, but I'm working for you all. So continue to let me know and give me some feedback. More Hollywood Higgins. Oh, Flasher, who's been starting at middle linebacker? No, I didn't look. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that I didn't look to confirm on that. I will try. Keep asking me, please. Don't hesitate to keep asking me. Brandon Smith, haven't had a chance to hone in on him yet. So, guys, for me, just letting you know, it's tough for me to, this early on, be able to see every single guy because things are so spread out. And I have honestly been focused a lot on the quarterbacks. Today I went for the offensive line. I'll start to spread around, I promise, so I can give more in-depth feedback. Now, when a guy like Bravion Roy made a good play and it stands out like that, I can see it and report it. But otherwise, if I just watch a certain player, then I'm missing a lot of other things. And that's just how it goes. Not a problem, but just putting perspective into everything. This team hasn't had an identity since Rivera era. Do you see any identity developing so far? Well, when you say since Rivera, it's only been one coach since Rivera, which is Matt Rule. And maybe you're just saying that you don't feel the identity with Matt Rule. And, one of the things I feel like is a catch-22 with an identity, nobody's going to really say that you have an identity unless you're winning. Unless you're really, really horrible, then like terrible. But I feel like the identity can come there. And certainly I feel like it's been starting with the defense. And the defense was, they did a lot of draft picks with the defense a couple of years ago. Defense last year overall was pretty good. The defense this year has a lot of personality and a lot of good leaders, as Baker Mayfield alluded to. And now we got the other end that they're trying to build on the offensive side. So I feel like things are going to come. We hope things work out well and Matt Rule continues to be here. And certainly if Matt Rule doesn't perform, he needs to not be here. And unfortunately, we'll have to start this process all over again. You need one of these Charlotte Vibe shirts in Panthers colors? I got a blue one that I wear sometimes. All right. Question for Rule, offensive coordinator. Is there value in this being a new offense and how teams prepare for the Panthers? Yeah, there's certainly going to be a little value that you have and that they're new and nobody's going to know anything yet. You can't really go on tape to figure it out. But everybody in the NFL is smart. They'll go find film from Ben McAdoo with other teams and they'll study that. And because this team is new, they have so many resources devoted to certain things at football on the pro level, like scouts and people that just cut up tape and watch tape and these data. So probably back in the day, like 10 years ago, it might have been something that you're able to ride for maybe a full season. But I don't give these guys, when I say these guys, I give teams on the other side maybe 6 games before they start to still be able to identify some things. And the best things that the Panthers can do at that point is just try to hold back some things so that you don't see it and wait to pull it out. So unfortunately, let me end on this one. Keep up the great work. Your team is going to explode this year. I appreciate that, Rusty. I appreciate it. That concludes today's show. Right at the 30-minute mark. Hey, hit the like button. If you want to see more player interviews and coaches, which I do, I know you do, you guys are asking me these questions. So hit the like button. It helps the channel grow, helps other Panthers fans find out about me. Consider also subscribing if you're enjoying the content. And if you are, hit that notification so that you know when I'm going live so you can join me on the show. And you know what I'm proud about? I done found my voice where I don't have to get water. Anyway, Chris Jenkins, I wish I was going to say reporting live from Spartanburg, but you guys know my sob story for that. Chris Jenkins back in Charlotte reporting regarding the Carolina Panthers' first day in pads and training camp. I will continue to report to you each and every day there's practice. Everybody enjoy your evening until we see each other again.